meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Avery.
Here.
President Eccles is absent today, and the meeting is being chaired by our President Pro Tem, Cannon. Councilman Stewart.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We do have a quorum present today, and the meeting is open for business. And Brian Harbison will lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we thank you for the opportunity and the freedom to be here today. And as we reflected yesterday in remembrance of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for this freedom, God, we pray that you'll continue to be with those families, provide them the grace, the mercy they need. And I pray for wisdom today for our council in the decisions they have to make. Thank you for your blessings on this city. And I pray, God, as we move forward, we'll remember where those blessings came from. We'll give you the honor and the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meeting held on May the 15th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the weeks of May the 11th through the 17th and May the 18th through the 24th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations, Mayor. That brings us down to unfinished business. A is an ordinance amending City Code Section 83-33.1 regarding schedules of fines and costs for park violations. The ordinance was presented for the first reading on May the 15th. It increases the fines for a first violation from $25 to $100, a second violation from $50 to $150, and a third violation from $100 to $200. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I guess we should say this is a result of, we had some vandalism in our parks, and we're very serious about, that those parks are everybody's property, and some vandal come in and do the vandalism that's been done, and we're tired of it.
I think at one time we have put out I know I've put out some discretionary money or trying to stop some of that. I don't know if we spent any of it up, but I know some people has turned themselves in that did vandalize some parks. I know that has happened before. I think J.R. Countryman did the same thing. I don't know if we gained response for that, but we are serious about our parks and recreations, all of our parks, and we do want them to be safe for the people to be in. We want everything be there as we put it, because it's your tax dollars that we're spending on that.
Can I say something too?
Yes, sir.
We do a lot of work and spend a lot of money to make it nice for everybody, and you always have a few. And if raising the fines don't stop it, we'll raise them more and make it maybe 30 days in jail. Mm-hmm. The judge said just let him know what we need to do, and he'll take care of it. So we're going to bear down on it.
I hope so. I just think that these fines are kind of small in comparison to being serious about the money we have to spend when we have to go back in and fix those parks up and bathrooms and stuff. Plus, I didn't talk about this upstairs, and I should have, Mayor. And I'd like to get a report. We had a light post and a tree torn down on Tuscaloosa Avenue, one of those lamp posts. I was intending to get a police report. I don't know if we have one, Chief, or not, but I'd like to find out who it was, because whoever it was, we need to make them pay for the replacement of that tree and that lamp post.
Did they run into it or something?
They ran into it, plowed the tree up and the pole, broke it all into pieces. And I've been intending to get a report on that and find out to make sure whoever it is, that when they do come to court, that we make sure that they find enough to replace those things.
Yeah, that should be, that's all part of the process.
Mayor, while we're there, I don't know where you've noticed it or not, but at the tennis courts up on the mountain at Nakalula Park, it appears that, and I don't know who's doing it, but at night they're meeting up there, and it's after dark. The next morning, all we got is beer cans and trash. We're evidently spending a lot of man hours.
Jacks right there,
Yeah, where the old tennis courts were,
where the tennis courts.
That's right.
Old Jacks, right, I know what you're talking about.
right across the street from Jack's. Yeah, the fine dining restaurant. Absolutely.
Chief, you hearing that, I see you taking
Yeah.
my note, that's good.
I would appreciate that, and periodically, we have people,
Cruise through there, and that's right.
yeah, they'll put the cars out there for sale periodically. We'd have two big signs, so they park right in front of the sign, Chief, to sell their cars that say, "Don't sell your car here." Appreciate you looking at that.
That's the think tank. That's not
Right.
fine dining. That's Gadsden's think tank.
Early education.
These fines apply to people being in the parks after hours, and there'll
Yeah.
be signs posted in all the parks, and some of them close at different times, but most of the vandalism is done after somebody shouldn't even be in the park. So if you're in the park the wrong
Absolutely.
time, you're going to get fined.
Any more discussion? If there's not any further discussion, clerk, would you please take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Number 9, this is a time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 401 Roslyn Drive in District 2. The state of Alabama, Kim F. Parker doing business as the Parker Company, and Your Choice Properties Incorporated being the last known owners. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone here wish to speak in favor?
Mr. President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We started this case in November of last year. There have been no improvements to the property. There are no permits to improve. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, clerk, would you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 921 Wisteria Lane in District 2. Cassandra Joyce Allison Green, Richard Thomas Allison, Michael Leon Allison, and Exchange Bank being the last known owners. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Anyone? Does anyone wish to speak in favor?
Mr. President, this case involves a mobile home, and we started our case back in September of last year. Been no improvements to this property. There are no permits to improve, and we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
Wisteria Lane, that's where the Desperate Housewives live, I believe.
That's their house.
I think they all packed up and gone, haven't they, Brian? I think this was their last season.
From the looks of that, they packed up and gone.
The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd just like to speak to the fact that, generally speaking, the city's hands are tied when property gets to this point. And one thing I would want to commend the building department on and the mayor for doing their jobs relative to nuisance properties. But it shouldn't stop there. Obviously, we've got a great responsibility to try to revitalize those neighborhoods once we create that vacant lot there. So that's something I brought up in our last meeting, and I'll continue to speak to it. The mayor and I talked about that some, and we've got some opportunities. This is a tough economic environment to be asking developers to come in and do some of that stuff, but we'll continue to push that where we can. So those who are having conversations about us tearing houses down but not revitalizing those neighborhoods, that is something we're looking at.
Okay, is that all the discussion? Clerk, would you please take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 211 Ruth Street in District 4, Monica Mack being the last known owner. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? If there are, please come forward to the microphone. If you will, state your name, and right here, please, and state your name and address for the city clerk.
My name is Walter Freeman, 1211 Tennessee. I'm Monica Mack's husband. I have put a roof partially on it. The reason the house ain't done, I had a heart attack when we first bought it. I had a congestive heart failure, and just ain't been working. So finances just, was killed. But now I have started working on it, and I took the windows out, and we've put a metal roof, like a little piece of the metal roof that's to put on it. But I am going to put the windows in it. I just asked for a little time. That's all, and then to finish it up. But it's not. I mean, we're going to put new siding and new windows on it. I've got some of the windows now, but I just need time to get the rest of them. So I want to, it's not going to be like it is. We just need a little time to finish it on up. Because I pulled all the roof off and put new tin and metal is up there now. So we just need time to put the windows in it and get everything else going.
Okay, sir, we appreciate you.
Do you have a time frame as to what time you're talking about?
I can have the windows in. Give me about, I say, 3 months. I can have pretty well in any shape. I mean, as far as the outside, I still got a lot to do inside, but as far as the roof and the windows and the siding, in about 3 months, I can have that ready. But I would have the windows in before then, but the siding and stuff, I just, like I say, finances is squeezing, but we're trying to do it because I'm not working right now. So.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Does anyone wish to speak in favor?
Mr. President, this case obviously involves a burned house. We started our process in October of 2010. There was a building permit taken out in October of 2010, and it's been stated this morning, there has been some roof repair. As you can tell in the pictures, it's still a problem to the immediate community. Still piles of debris out back and some portions in the front. And we're certainly not opposed to the house being repaired. We would object to anything more than a 30-day extension at this time. We just simply want the nuisance abated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harbison. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Mr. President, this is in Councilman Echols' district, and he's not here. So at this time, I'll ask for a 7-day table to let him be able to look at this and make a decision as opposed to the council. So I ask for a 7-day table.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote on this, please?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 7 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 7 days.
Did you understand
Good
next,
to say what we did.
next Tuesday, we'll have another, Mr. Eccles will be back, probably, hopefully will be, and you come back next week at the same time here, so it can work out with him.
Or possibly get with him before next Tuesday. Maybe next Monday you might have a decision. You might have to come back on Tuesday. Okay.
Number 12, our next public hearing is a resolution authorizing annulment of right-of-way. Track 1 is a 12-foot alley extending from Park Street to Cornelius Street, and Track 2 is a 12-foot alley located within Block 3 of Elliott Park, First Edition. The annulment was requested by the property owners, 5 Diamond LLC, Patsy Bentley, and Peggy Thompson. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Anyone? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? Okay, Mr. Blair, if you'll come to the mic, please, and give your name and address to the city clerk, please.
Jerry Blair, I live at 5101 Horton Bend Road. I own property on both sides of this alley. Mr. Bentley owns on the other side. These alleys have been, to my knowledge, it's not been used in many years. You can tell by looking at them. And it would benefit us greatly if they were annulled.
All right, thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance rezoning property located at 2800 Shahan Avenue in District 6 from B2 General Business District to R2 Multifamily Residence District. Frank and Deidre Ledford, requesting the rezoning for the purpose of marketing property for residential use. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone here wish to speak in favor? This ordinance has been presented today for the first reading, and the council will vote on it next week.
Mr. President, I know we didn't discuss this upstairs, but I understand that there is a sale pending on this property. So if there's no objections, can we just ask for unanimous consent to go ahead and consider this so they can move that forward?
Second.
Okay.
You have a second.
Okay, we want to go ahead and bring this up today. We've got unanimous, we're going to ask for unanimous consent. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Ask for passage.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The next one's a resolution awarding bid number 3199 for paint and paint supplies. The purchasing department has recommended awarding to Colors Paint and Decorating in the amount of $223.78 for the core items listed. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Number 15 is new business. Is there any new business today?
Yeah, Mr. President, I have one. Let's leave it to 214. It's a resolution authorizing agreement with Cherokee County EMA and Gadsden County EMA for use of responding equipment and personnel in emergencies.
Second.
That's for unanimous consent.
Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Yeah, I move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, are there any discussion?
Actually, this is just to cooperate with Cherokee County and Etowah County EMA in personnel and equipment.
Okay, clerk, would you please take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Do we have any more new business?
Mr. President, I have a resolution I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider today. It's a resolution authorizing agreement with Crescent Moon Entertainment for performance by Parrot of the Caribbean on Friday, June the 1st at the amphitheater.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Being no further discussion, clerk, would you please take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I have one additional item. It's an ordinance authorizing lease of property adjacent to the Northeast Alabama Regional Airport to the Army Commission of Alabama. I make a motion that we consider this today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I defer
Yeah,
to the mayor.
yep, okay. This is the Army Special Forces group moving in. We think it's going to be really a win-win situation. We don't have exactly all the details in writing, but we have been discussing it with them. We think it's going to create a lot of activity and some more jobs, so it's going to be a real good situation for us, and we should have the information on it before next week is the council meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Do we have any other new business? Being no further new business, that brings us down to department reports, committee boards, et cetera. Kay Moore was going to come and talk to us about First Friday. Kay, can you hold it just 1 minute, sir?
I'd like to ask some questions, if that's okay.
Right now, you won't be able to. Yes. Well, let Kay come up first, and then we'll get back with you, okay?
Good morning. Thank you, council members. I appreciate it. I hope y'all noticed some things, before I talk about First Friday, some things different in downtown that happened last week. Anybody see the giant charms that we have now in front of BB&T Bank at the corner of Court Street and Broad Street? That was done by Dee Morrison, thanks to Mario at the Walnut Gallery. That was, it's something that he got a grant for through the State Council on the Art. This piece of artwork will be here for 2 years on the corner of that street. It's going to be something that's really going to bring us out, bring a lot more foot traffic, I think, too. Sometime mid-June, we're getting another one by Craig Weatherspoon from Tuscaloosa. It looks to me like a giant empty golf ball is the only way I can describe it. It's about a 5 by 5 or 6 by 6 foot piece of artwork. Looking for a place to put that, so that'll be next. So that's two big pieces of artwork that you've seen. Also, if you notice the back of the side of the Dowdy's office equipment building, which faces the back entrance to the Center for Cultural Arts, Joseph Geary came and finished up, he redid what was up there and finished up the painting that we had. If you remember, we took the caboose down and it was given to the city, to Atala, to the Historical Commission. It was put over there in the Atala in their railroad park. So that cleared up that wall, which then the Serendipity Dance Club gave money to the Cultural Arts Center to have Mr. Geary come and finish that up too. So 2 great pieces of art with 1 more in the process of coming very, very soon. So we're excited about that. We want to be known as a cultural community in addition to a great place to shop and eat and just have a good time. So before I get to First Friday, we're going to talk about Jazzy June, DJ Buster, sitting right here. I know Councilman Reed, Cannon, and Harris came the first time we did this back in this first part of this month. But Jazzy June is going to be, in fact, I've got everybody a copy of this. If you could take one and pass it on down. June the 4th, the 18th, and the 25th. You can escape from the office and bring your lunch anytime from 11 to 1. And DJ Buster is going to be playing some great music at the Water Wall. Now, we still, and Buster and I have had a conversation, people do not know where the Water Wall is. The Water Wall is really a great place we've got downtown. It's between the Pittman Theater and the Senior Activity Center. It's got tables, it's got chairs, there's some shade trees out there, so we're just inviting everybody to just get away, kick back, and relax, and bring your lunch. June the 4th, the 18th, and the 25th, from 11 to 1. So come on down and join us for that, and DJ Buster's going to be spinning some great tunes. It's really a lot of fun. So that gets me to this Friday, which everybody I hope knows that this Friday is First Friday. James Spann has told Carrie Payne personally, that the rain is going to come Thursday, it's going to be gone by lunchtime Friday, it's going to be like in the 70s, and it just doesn't get any better than that. So we've got great local talent, and Laura Dodd is our headliner for First Friday. She is from Atala. She is one of Nashville's big rising stars now, so she's going to be at our what we call our main stage. We laugh when we call it a main stage. There's no stage, it's a sidewalk. But in front of BB&T, a great place, and she'll be right next to our new artwork there too. So we're looking forward to Laura being there. She's got several awards recently, and we're just looking, this is her first time to sing at First Friday, so we're looking forward to that. Kevin Moore, another local boy, no kin to me, but a great saxophone player, will be at 3rd and Broad Streets. And then Katie Battles, also another local person, now lives in Birmingham. She does outlaw country. So we try to give everybody a little bit of a different taste. You might not like everything, but we want you to like something. So she'll be at 5th and Broad in front of the Cultural Arts Center. We will have our line dancing up there at 6th and Broad Street. Great crowd, great fun. They just have a blast up there. So I say all that to say we want to bring people downtown, to remember we have a downtown, but it's about shopping downtown, it's about eating downtown, it's about meeting your friends downtown, and it's not a bad thing to come and just walk around downtown. We know we have parking problems. I know that we've talked about this and talked about this, but come and walk and just look to see. First Friday is a great time to do that. Any time is a good time to come, just to visit our downtown and just see what we've got. A lot of great boutiques, a lot of great restaurants, and just have a really good time doing everything. And I should say Imagination Place has got 2 new residents too. They have 2 Russian tortoises, Yoko and, what's Yoko and Madonna, are 2 Russian tortoises now. The city helped create their barn, their farm thing that's on the upstairs of the theme, at the upstairs at the Imagination Place. So Tammy Brooks is doing a great job with that. We're looking forward to a great summer. Summertime is usually, the time people are traveling, but if you're out and about, and we got a lot of travelers coming into our downtown. We had people from Tuscaloosa yesterday shopping at Little Faces Doll Shop. So encourage your friends when they come in to visit you, bring them downtown, show off our downtown. We've got a beautiful, beautiful downtown, and I appreciate all of your support. It makes it all worthwhile. Mayor.
Would you mind getting in touch with Brian at Channel 99?
I will.
And see if he can't, get a lot of video for that, all the different acts and the artwork,
Okay.
and maybe even get on top of a building somewhere and show the crowd. He could probably do that at Cultural Arts there. But
We
I just
can,
think
yeah.
that'd be good if we get it on 99. I think we're going to be sort of doing some things in the 9 surrounding counties pretty soon anyway, and it'd be good to have it.
I will call him
And as well, the DJ at the water wall, might get that one day where
Yeah,
people know where it is and what's happening there too.
We've talked about that. That's DJ Buster. He just spins some great tunes, and, people come and go. So, from 11 to 1, you may come there, maybe a dozen people, but I bet you we've had 50, 60, 70 people pass through the 2 times we've done it before. So it's just a lot of fun. I will get in touch with Brian today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your support.
Tell them
Yes,
to be
Councilman.
sure and bring their lunch. That's great. When you get your lunch down there and DJ Buster's going and you eat lunch, enjoy yourself.
That's right.
Really, I think.
It was fun, was it not?
It was fun, yeah.
Lots of fun, so. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, I wish more people would enjoy the water wall. I would be, I know what we paid for it, and I'd be ashamed to tell you, that thing cost a small fortune. Come out and enjoy it. It's a beautiful place to be.
That's exactly right.
One of the elected officials that we had here from around the country for First Friday asked me the other day, and I'm going to be meeting with him again in another month or so, do we have a plan how we set up our First Friday? Because they were very interested in starting that. So do I just tell them to get in touch with you or what?
That would be great. Sylvia Smith from the Stone Market is the one that started this, and it's just kind of grown out a lot larger. I've been to several different cities and talked to them. I'd love to talk to him, just kind of tell how we did that. And I'm glad you said something, because that made me remember I'm supposed to be speaking from Carrie Payne too. The summer concert series after First Friday.
Right.
The Parents of the Caribbean, thank you for voting to pay them, because that's something that we needed to do. But they're kind of a Jimmy Buffett dance beach party band, and that's going to be a lot of fun too. But yes, I've talked to a lot of people, you'd be surprised, all over. I had a call from Washington, D.C. that was just asking about crowds and how we did it not too long ago, so.
Invite them down.
Yes, I do. I invite everybody to. We had a crew from Fort Payne and from Anniston last first Friday, and who knows where else that we don't know where.
Georgia coming over.
They are.
Mississippi.
The key is having the right person, and remember, Kay, you have a 25-year contract, so don't.
She can't be moving, huh?
That's right.
We need to extend that, maybe.
It is a lot of fun. I have a great job. Where else can you walk up and down the streets and shop and get paid for it? I mean, that's great. But thank y'all. Without your support, without the police department's support, the sheriff's deputies, I mean, we work well together. The new artwork, I mean, the Walnut Gallery is another well-hidden secret above the old recovery room across from Johnson's Giant Foods at 6th and Walnut Street. The Center for Cultural Arts, the best thing probably that's happened to this town in many, many years after we were voted one of the worst. And then those people got together. They'll be celebrating their 25th anniversary in 2015. So we're just excited to work together. When you work together, you can get a lot more done.
Remember Public Works after it's all
Oh,
over.
absolutely. Thank goodness for Public Works. Before First Friday got so big, downtown looked like a disaster area. But now Public Works comes in, and within 2 hours
Right
it's
behind.
clean. You would never know anything had ever happened on
And the
Saturday.
Museum of Arts.
Yes,
They go through
Museum of
there.
Art, yes, they
Yeah,
work well.
I'm getting all my plugs in.
Thank you.
Fire department.
What's that?
Put the
My
fire
mother-in-law,
department
your
in there.
sister-in-law.
Get them all, but no, we're
Yeah,
very
man.
appreciative of everyone that works together.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Great job,
Thank you,
Kay.
Kay.
Yeah, she does it.
Does anybody on the council have any objections? This fellow here speaking.
What's the subject?
What's the subject, sir?
Concerning the Nugent building, demolition of the Nugent building.
I thought
Concerning
that was
the
a
new-
done deal. Is it not?
I don't mind anybody speaking
No, I
about
don't either. I just
anything, really.
wondered.
That's what we're here for, as far as I'm
No
concerned.
problem.
Okay, come on up to the podium. You got 5 minutes, but you usually have to come before the president on Friday or the clerk's office one before 12:30 to speak. But you got unanimous consent. You just can't mention anyone's name or anything like that when you speak.
Mr. President, let me say this, and sir,
Okay.
please, this has absolutely nothing to do with you as an individual, but we have to be careful as a council for whatever precedent that we may be setting. So, but I also.
said.
Has it been said?
It's been said.
Okay, so I'm okay with him speaking, but we just have to be careful.
Okay,
with that.
thank you for your patience. Now, the question I had about the
Name and address.
Name.
Tommy King, 107 Rippey View Lane. The Nugent building, I understand the proposal, and the city has purchased that property. Am I correct? And you're in the process of demolishing that building. And my question is, after that takes place and that happens, is the city going to retain the ownership of that property, or is that property going to be put up for bidding and for sale? And if so, when will that be?
No. I'll speak to that. Once we get it torn down, and I think there's some basement area there and filled in and leveled off, then First Methodist is purchasing the property from us. And from what I understand, they plan to maybe have some more parking plus a green space, little park-like area. I hadn't seen any plans, but I know that's what they have said they would do. And it can be pretty much available for everybody around. They're not going to close it off, which I think probably what your next door would help that situation.
So that's already a done deal then?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. I'll talk to you after the meeting if you want to.
That brings us down to remarks by the mayor and the council. Ben, would you like to go first?
Sure, I guess. I was going to say something about Memorial Day yesterday. So just to say a little bit, we had a very large crowd. We had spectacular presentations. Everybody enjoyed it. Mayor, the good news is the 2 trees on both sides have grown high enough. Everybody was in the shade. We had a south wind come. We had a north wind. It was absolutely beautiful. Next week, Rick Vaughn is going to come and just, I think, thank the city for their part and to really report on this, so I wasn't going to say too much about it. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Ariel Brooks. She's from Glencoe, Alabama. Happens to be Ed Watley of our bunch, his granddaughter. And we just want to welcome her as a visitor and know that she came a large distance to see us, to visit us. Thank you, Ariel. That's all.
Councilman Stewart?
Yeah, you can't be too proud of your grandkids, you can't. I tell you. All right, I just would like to mention, we had an old alley earlier in our meeting, and I would just encourage anybody that has an alley behind them that's not being used. And the rule of thumb is if all the property owners adjoining that alley agree, then we'd love to annul those things and give the property back to the property owners. So if it's not being used for a utility service or something, then if you have one of those alleys around your house, get together with your neighbors and let's take that property back over.
Councilman Avery?
Quick question, I didn't ask it upstairs. Where are we on the resurfacing? Are we close to letting the contract yet? I've had several people.
Bid's next week.
The bid is next week, okay. I had several questions about some resurfacing, so I just wanted to get that out. We talked about the holiday we just come through, and I was reminded of the fact that I spoke at one of the programs this past weekend about our veterans who have died and gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country. I saw some disturbing figures when they were talking about the fact that I think it's 17% unemployment rate right now with our returning veterans from the Middle East, which is pretty high as far as I'm concerned. But the other thing that I'm concerned about is that the young men and women who go overseas and they die for the rights of the people here in this country, but they also die for the rights of people in other countries to go and have the freedom to vote and elect whoever they want to for their public office. But then when they come back here, they have to present government-issued ID, and they have all kind of restrictions to come back home and vote. And somehow or another, there's something wrong with that picture. And I'm going to keep talking about that and keep pushing that until people understand what we're doing here in this country to our own selves and to our people. I was watching on the news where in Egypt they just had a big election over there, and I don't think those folks had to have government-issued ID and they had to do all these and jump through all these hoops. They just went and voted. And until we wake up in this country, I think we're going to be putting ourselves back into a situation where we might be the next country where somebody's going to be coming over fighting so we can have our rights to vote and elect who we want to in public office. And people say, well, that's far-fetched, Avery. Well, I thought it was far-fetched for women's right to do what they want to do with their bodies, too. Whether I agree with them or not, I don't think I have the right to tell them what to do, but there's a move on in this country to do that. I didn't think I had a number of other issues and rights to do, but there's a move on in this country. We just need to be mindful of the people we put in public office. Just a warning. I'm through. Off my soapbox.
Councilman Williams?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick point. If you haven't noticed over history, anytime if you're a female, if you're a minority, or if you're a poor person, anytime you hear states start talking about states' rights, in particular Alabama, you should be afraid because you're about to get screwed. So, just be mindful of that. State rights is code for things that are regressive for poor people, minorities, and women. And that's just kind of Deverick's opinion, but that's kind of been my history as well, based on what I've seen. Positive, I want to give some feedback from the Alabama League event. I'm so proud of this city. We get so many accolades for the various department heads, from our mayor, from our city attorney, from our city clerk. You'd be surprised how well received and highly regarded Iva is throughout the state in terms of what she does. So I do want to take that opportunity to just let our city officials know that we really appreciate the work you do. You know, they even have some good things to say about our mayor. So, you know, I just really appreciate it. And I think one of the things that really highlighted that for me is I was having a conversation with another city's attorney. You know, one of the first things he said is, you know, I really appreciate, you know, being able to call on your city's attorney. And I said, who, Roger? and of course he said, yeah, Roger. But it you know, it makes you feel good to hear people really you know, say positive things about your city. So, you know, it's always a shame when we sometimes don't appreciate what we have here. So I do want to make sure that I recognize that. Do want to recognize my father who's here. Try to recognize him when he has the opportunity to come out and support me. I will tell you this, a little bit of trivia, and he's going to probably get on me later for sharing this, but that man there is probably the best hitter in baseball that I've seen in my lifetime. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. I know a little bit of something about baseball, and he's probably the best hitter I've seen in my lifetime, bar none, bar none. So
I'll go along with that, and he's not my dad, but he is a great baseball hitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, always appreciate him coming out. You know, again, as I thank the city and recognize folks who do a good job, just this past week, the chief did some things, was very responsive to some concerns that were raised in my community. I'm very proud and appreciative of how he responded to some items and some issues in my district. Parks and Rec on a Saturday, when they weren't at work, received some calls and responded, even when the citizen wasn't necessarily all the way in bounds. Parks and Rec responded and did some things that they didn't necessarily have to do. So we tend to highlight the negative, but don't always take that opportunity to think about those positive things. And of course, I can't say enough about Brian and the building department and some of the things that they do. They get such a bad rap because when you're tearing down houses and folks don't want you to tear down their houses, I mean, that's a difficult task, position to be in, but they are very responsive. And I encourage the gentleman who came today to reach out to Mr. Harbison, because he'll work with you where he can. Okay. And the last thing I want to speak to is, you know, Mr. Eccles is not with us today. He's you know, he's going to kill me for saying this, but Mr. Eccles is not with us today because he's ill, and so please keep him in your prayers as he battles this latest stint in terms of his illness. Thank you.
Councilman Harris.
Thank you, Mr. President. Have several items. The first item is that let us not forget that Gadsden City High School will have graduation this Friday, June 1st, at 7 o'clock at the in the Titans gym. So we're going to ask everyone that can make this event to go ahead and support our graduating seniors at Gadsden City High School. And at the same time, you will probably get some information about how well some of the students are doing in Gadsden City High School. We're looking forward to there being some more publications of the scholarships and the awards that those kids have gotten, and we look forward to getting that information to you in all types of media. But the Gadsden City High School will have graduation services at 7 o'clock Friday night. And you know, Councilman Williams was talking about the Alabama League, you know, where we had the meetings now. One of the highlights of that meeting was roundtable discussions where you put cities of like populations together and you discuss issues. And there are a lot of cities, over 20,000 population, that do a lot of things different than we do. Not necessarily saying it's any better, but they do it differently. And it's interesting to talk to those officials to see how they do things, and then they are interested to see how well we do things here in Gadsden. So it's a good dialogue that goes on for an hour, hour and a half, you know, at those tables, and then we have a report from each. We'll have about 4 different tables this time. We had a report from each one, but it's interesting to see how differently a city of a like population operate. And we have to say, as your elected officials, that we have one of the best systems in the state, bar none. So we thank you for your continued support of us in that endeavor. We talked about, earlier, we talked about the Parks and Recreation situation, parks situation, I should say, where we are increasing fines, and we want to do that. If we're going to, I've asked, and we've asked, I should say, that Parks and Recreation Department give all of our parks the same amount of attention. And Mayor, you know, I think we talked about this about 2 weeks ago, where some parks don't get the same attention that other parks get. And I want that not to be any difference in the treatment of a park in East Gadsden. There's a park on Nakalula Falls, there's a park on Rainbow Drive. I want every park to receive the same amount of attention year-round. Now, when we do that, you know, we're going to obviously increase the fines when we catch somebody in there tearing up, destroying property in that park when they should not be there. So we owe it to you to do that if we're going to ask Parks and Recreation to improve the situation in all of our parks. So we promise you, and we make that commitment to you to do that. And the final thing that I have is Memorial Day yesterday. You know, being you all had that ceremony was put on by
Gadsden Etowah Patriots Association.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, sir. Absolutely. And I just wanted to say this, and Councilman Avery talked about it, but I'm not going to elaborate on all of the things and the reasons and situations that we have found ourselves in throughout the world where we've lost. There was an article in the paper one day, Sunday maybe, that listed all the deaths that had occurred in every war since the United States was established. And when you look at the total number of people who have died for, in a lot of cases, no good reason, it just makes you wonder, where are our values? Where are our values? And the other thing I want to say about that is Vietnam veterans, and we've got veterans returning home now, but I reiterate again that the Vietnam veterans that returned to this country, and I was one of them, was treated so sadly and so badly until the United States should be ashamed of the way that they were treated, and they have never, ever yet gotten the services that they should have gotten. When you see a veteran, and I try to make this a habit, when you see someone that has served in the military, or anyone that has family in the military, just go up and tell them thank you for your service. And they appreciate that. They appreciate it. That's all I have.
Mayor?
Before the mayor started, Billy was talking about the roundtable discussion. Mayor, I know where we can go get some money now. I just found out that Leon over in Oxford has over about $100 million in surplus in his budget. So everybody tried to hit him up at the table, so you might want to go get in line.
Do you know why he has that much money?
I know exactly why. He doesn't spend it.
Oh, no, there's another reason.
He said he's tight.
Volunteer fire department.
Volunteer fire department and very few employees.
That's really true, I'm serious.
Yeah,
Most of y'all got the word that Leon's son passed away here in the...
No, I didn't.
Yes.
When was that?
Came on, I don't know exactly what day it was. I got it on the sale that his son did have a heart attack and passed away.
Wow. I'm going through it today, so I'll stop by.
Yeah.
I'm going through
Send
it.
him our condolences.
I will.
I mean, tell him, sure enough. We all know him.
And I'm going to try to get some money from him too while I'm there, but anyway. I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
I think I got that on my message yesterday.
Oh, okay.
First of all, which park are you talking about in East Gadsden?
Which one?
Yeah, it's not getting attention.
Oh, the one of, I can't even call the name of the park.
Hughley.
Not Hughley. Hughley Park is getting pretty much some of the attention that it should be getting, but the process that we established, to go ahead and put the fencing around it, and to cut the trees and to expand it, and we let the bids on those things. Lewis Street Park, where we've already established and we've already passed it. We got the funds allocated. We should have already gotten bids on it, but the basketball court has not been done, and there are leaves, all over those parks that have been there since fall of last year. And it's just those parks don't get the attention. Those two in particular I'm speaking about. I won't speak about Burnett Park because As you know, we met on that one, and we have a solution that we're gonna have for that. But those two parks in particular are the ones where I don't see the maintenance that should be done, in those parks.
I was over at Hughley Park. I understand, I don't know if Chad, Public Works, is not here, but I think they're going to be cutting trees this week over there. And, you know, we've done a lot of things. We got a baseball field we put over there. We've done several things. On Lewis Street, Chad, is that part of that paving? Do you know anything about that on the basketball court and stuff out there?
It's through the Parks and Rec.
Okay. 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 All you got to do is just let me know. And sometimes things don't move as quickly as everybody likes for them to. Anything governmental or educational, you get a lot of bureaucrats, a lot of red tape. You know, you get
don't work slow. I don't know what you're talking
Huh?
about.
You get them working on the commission deal where they have to get paid for what they do on Friday. You can really get some work done, I assure you. But anyway, we have a lot of good things going on, just like you said, and we try to take care of all the districts. It's a lot better than it was, and I'm bragging on this, but it's the council and our employees. It's a lot better than it was 5.5 years ago when I got here, trust me.
Amen.
And we're going to keep working on it. And sometimes it goes slow. There's a lot of things that don't go quick enough for me as well. On the Memorial Day, I watched a lot of TV yesterday. I saw a lot of stories on a couple of different channels there where one guy was in the military. He was 18, and I know I'm getting into the issue here, but it's just amazing. An 18-year-old guy, he's in, I guess, Afghanistan, and some of his group got ambushed, and he had 4 guys in a house. There was no roof, just the walls, and they kept calling for helicopters, and they kept telling them 15 minutes. And the guy who was sort of over the whole operation, and there's been some discipline done, but anyway, it was a 5-minute trip from where they were, and they turned them around 3 different times because they didn't have the right approval from somebody, and they're pinned down. And then they had the artillery, and they couldn't do that because it was close to a village, and so they wouldn't do any artillery, and these guys are calling for help. And he's 18, and he gets another guy, and they have a truck, no armor on it. They're driving a truck. He's shooting a machine gun. There's bullets hitting everywhere, and he goes, and he finally gets in the ditch there where his sergeant and 3 other guys were. He jumped in, and they were dead. They're already dead, and it had taken an hour. Anyway, he got the bodies out, him and the other guy. He got the Medal of Honor, and he didn't have a scratch on him, and neither did the other guy, and they were outnumbered. They also killed a lot of Afghan troops, too, that were on our side. But, you know, that's a bureaucratic way. I know they have rules to go by in the military. I was in the military, but, you know, sometimes common sense prevails in everything, more so than a lot of other things. But anyway, we appreciate all the work our people do, and, you know, just bear with us. We'll get to it eventually. Thank you.
Councilman Cannon, I did have one other thing that I wanted to make everybody aware of. You know, we have this project over on Stroud Avenue that Carolyn Parker, Commissioner Carolyn Parker, and I are working together on for drainage over there. I'd like to just let everybody know that due to some right-of-way issues, we're going to be backed up 30 days on that project. We were supposed to open bids today, but there was a right-of-way issue with the railroad, and we're going to be backed up 30 days according to our engineering department and the engineering department for the county. So bear with us. The project is still on the books to be done. It will be done, and we're looking to do phase 2 next year. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank everyone that came out to Reagan Park dedication Saturday. We had a parade started at 3 o'clock. The dedication for Mr. Reagan was at 4 at Reagan Park, and at 5:30 the singing started. And Mr. Reagan did get to come himself. He sat there in the middle, and it was really great to see him there, and there was a lot of people. A lot of people hadn't seen him in a long time was there, and I do appreciate everyone that came out to that. I have an announcement I got to make about due to the Memorial Day holiday that was observed yesterday, the garbage route for Monday will be collected today. Tuesday's route will be collected on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday's routes will not change. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We adjourn.